Hey race fans, now that you've seen the outside, we're going to take you for a little tour on the inside of the CamRally. Remember, you've got to go vote at ToyotaDreamBuild.com and make sure to vote for this CamRally because we're trying to win this for the second time in a row. Come along. As I come here to the back, there's no door handle. And normally a Camry is 4 doors, wouldn't you say? Well, we have shaved off the door handles, welded the rear doors shut, and now this is a 2-door Camry. So, come on inside. But I do have one special treat, or 2 actually. I'm going to turn on the lights and I'm going to show you the motor. And so there you see the lights. Very, very cool. Obviously a very bright look on the fog lights, a very yellow, or green. Very blinding. I don't know if you'll see that, but they're very blinding to me right now. Very powerful from light force. Come on up to the front. We'll show you the motor. Some things we did under here. Right away, you might notice a couple extra tubes and such over here. Well, that would be a turbo from Turbonetics. Over here, you have the wastegate, the blow-off valve, and when we tune this baby right, it's going to make a ton of horsepower. With that said, right now, she's not quite there, but we're going to get her there for sure. Come along inside. We'll show you the passenger side, then I'll get on the driver's side, and I'll explain everything from that angle. So you guys come in here like you're the passenger. I'll get in on the other side. First thing you'll see about me trying to get in here, it's very tight. A little tighter even than our race cars, which are pretty tight as well. Now that we're in here, hopefully you can see most of this stuff. You got your traditional 6-point harness here. Traditional racing seats from Sparco. Very cool touch is that we have the foot box for the navigator. Obviously in a rally race you have a passenger, so he's your navigator or she's your navigator. And we had to give them something to protect their feet, so there's the foot box. You'll notice that there is a carbon fiber dash, very similar to a stock car dash. We really like this look. It adds almost like a rivet look, a very functional look. It's obviously light, very rudimentary, but very functional as well. You'll see right here, these are the toggle switches for the lights. Very cool deal. Then you'll see our gauges here. No RPM gauge, no mile per hour gauge. Of course, this is a race car. We've got our boost gauge, fuel pressure, air-fuel ratio, water temp, and oil pressure, and volts, of course. We got to know how much electricity we're getting in this thing. You'll notice the wheel has come off. We have the traditional, I guess, windshield wiper and light points for the road car, because we need those because this is a rally car and it has to be able to go on the street. We can put our wheel on like this, just like our race cars in NASCAR. You see that right there. Very cool deal. And then as you look down, you'll see this weird lever. You're like, well, what is that lever? We don't see those in stock cars. This is actually a handbrake lever. This is how they make those tight turns and those very cool turns where they lock the rears up. That's what we got right here. You'll see the traditional, I guess, automatic gearbox selector from the road car. In the short time frame we had, we'd love to make this into a manual transmission or something like that, but we didn't quite have the time, only being about 30 days to build it. So we stayed with this, but sure enough, hopefully we'll be able to accept all the horsepower and put through this thing and at least give an example of what we were trying to accomplish. And then you'll see one of the coolest things, I think, is where we actually have all the power that goes to the car right here, and then you have the starter right here in this little button. With that said, there's some things behind us that are very cool. You have the traditional tubes that come out from the quarter windows that hopefully will bring air to the rear end and rear end cooler. With that said, I think it's one of those things where if we were really going to race this, we'd have to expand on that and test and develop those sorts of things, but definitely an example of what you would have. And I guess the biggest thing I haven't mentioned is that there's roll cage in here. We didn't skimp on the side of saying, we were going to try and race this. This is a full-on, actual functional roll cage. Very, very sturdy. Built by Detroit Speed, who built a lot of these things. And just a very, very impressive piece of kit right here that they put together. And just, I guess, one of those things you say, if we were really going to race this would be good enough. Lastly, I guess I'm going to get out real quick and I'm going to show you something on the door that I think is pretty cool. It's different and definitely something that kind of took my breath away. Give me a second. I come to the door here, you'll see the strap, and you're wondering, well, I guess that's the the strap to close the door or whatever. It's not. It's actually cooler. We actually have Lexan windows here, not glass, that go down, and this is how you actually retract them and put them up. I thought that was pretty cool. So if I pull this back off, pull this up, the window goes up and down, and it clips in. Well, if I get it right most of the time. There you go. That's the window. So that's the inside. Obviously very rudimentary, very much a functionality over form, but definitely an example of what we think would look like if you were actually to take a CamRally rallying. So that's why it's called the CamRally. Hopefully you like it. Go vote for us at ToyotaDreamBuild.com, and be sure to let us know what you think about this in the comment section below.